Hello everyone, this is Dr. M. Prashanti from Assistant Professor of Chemistry from Government Degree College for Women, Karimnagar. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about the differences between the amines and differences and similarities between amines, and next cyanides and isocyanides. In the previous parts, we have seen about amines. In the previous parts of my lectures, we have seen the preparations of amines, introduction to amines, nomenclature of amines, classification of amines, preparations and physical properties of amines in the first part of amines. And in the second part, we have discussed about the basic strength of amines, and in that we have discussed about the comparative basic strength of ammonia and amines, and between alkyl amines and aryl amines. Then we have seen the use of amines as phase transfer catalysts. We have seen some chemical properties, and the separation of amines also we have seen. And we have also seen electrophilic substitution reactions on aromatic amines, and diazotization, the formation of benzene diazonium chloride, and the uses of benzene diazonium chloride also we have seen in the last parts of amines. And today we will see what are the differences between the three amines. Let us see. First one, reaction with alkyl halides. See, we have already seen that primary amines combines with the three molecules of alkyl halides to form quaternary salt. We know that primary amine contains two hydrogen atoms. So, if those are treated with alkyl halides, we get higher next secondary amine, and then tertiary, and lastly we get quaternary salt. And similarly, the secondary amines are R, NH, R. These combines with the two molecules of alkyl halides to form quaternary salt. If one molecule is used to react with hydrogen, and tertiary amine is obtained. If the second alkyl halide also reacts with the tertiary and forms quaternary. In this way, two molecules of alkyl halides are used by secondary amines to form quaternary salt. And tertiary amines means R, N, R. Three alkyl groups are bonded to the nitrogen atom. This is tertiary amine. Therefore, it combines with only one molecule of alkyl halide to form quaternary salt. So, it takes only one RX molecule. Here, if we take primary amine, this is RNH2. Therefore, it takes three molecules to form quaternary salt. Next, reaction with acid chlorides. Not only with acid chlorides, with the acid anhydrates also, they give the same products. So, with the primary amines on reaction with acid chlorides or acid anhydrides, they form monoalkyl substituted amides. And these secondary amines, they form dialkyl substituted amides. Suppose I will show here RNH2. If react with or acid chloride, suppose if it is reacting with CH3COCl, okay, this one hydrogen is removed as HCl, and this C double bond O goes and attacks on the nitrogen atom. So, here we get RNHCO CH3. Okay, so monoalkyl substituted amide is obtained. In the case of secondary amines are R2NH. Amine group is bonded to two alkyl groups. Therefore, in the product we get dialkyl substituted amides. But as the tertiary amines, they do not contain any hydrogen atoms, so they do not show the reaction. Therefore, primary amines gives monoalkyl substituted amides with acid chlorides, and secondary amines gives dialkyl substituted amides. Reaction with nitrous acid. Primary amines on reaction with the nitrous acid, they form alcohols with the evolution of nitrogen gas. So primary amines gives alcohols, secondary amines gives nitrosoamines, and tertiary amines gives nitrite salts. Nitrite salts are obtained. And if you remember, we have seen under the heading or reaction with the nitrous acid, the secondary amines gives nitrosoamines, which on treating with the phenol and concentrated H2SO4, they give a deep blue color solution. This reaction is called as Lieberman's reaction, which is used for the qualitative test for secondary amines. So this particular reaction, that is with the nitrous acid, is used for identifying all the three amines, primary, secondary and tertiary amine. Next reaction with the carbylamine reaction, or reaction with chloroform. Primary amines forms carbylamine or isocyanate. Secondary amines, they do not give this reaction, and tertiary amines also, they do not give this reaction. So this test is used for the identification of primary amines, carbylamine reaction or isocyanate test. And next action with Hinsberg reagent. See, Hinsberg reagent, this is a benzene sulfonyl chloride, which is used for the separation of all the amines, that is primary, secondary and tertiary amines, and the method is Hinsberg separation. We have seen in the part 2. So what happens when they react with the Hinsberg reagent? Primary amines forms monoalkyl sulfonamides, secondary amines forms dialkyl sulfonamides, and tertiary amines, they do not react with the Hinsberg reagent. So primary forms monoalkyl sulfonamide and secondary forms dialkyl sulfonamide. In this way, we can differentiate between primary, secondary and tertiary amines by using these reactions or these tests. Next, coming to the differences between aliphatic and aromatic amines. Suppose if you see, aliphatic amines means simple R NH2, and aromatic amines are aryl NH2, that is simple example is our aniline. Aliphatic amines are, they are colorless gases or liquids soluble in water, and they give alkaline solutions when soluble in water. Aromatic amines are also colorless liquids, but they turns to brown color when exposed to the air, and they are sparingly soluble in water. And next, aliphatic amines, when react with the nitrous acid, they give alcohol and nitrogen, we have seen just now. But aromatic amines, they form diazonium salts, which are very, very useful intermediates in the preparation of so many benzene derivatives, diazonium salts, which we have seen in the part 3. And next, aliphatic amines are not easily oxidized, but these are suspected to oxidation easily. Aromatic amines are suspected to oxidation easily. And aliphatic amines, they cannot undergo nitration, sulfonation and halogenation. They cannot be nitrated, sulfonated, but these aryl groups or aryl amines can be easily undergoes nitration, sulfonation, etc. And alkyl amines, they do not react with aldehydes, but aryl amines, they react with aldehydes and gives bases called as Schiff's bases. They react with aldehydes and gives basic compounds called as Schiff's bases. And these are some of the differences what we found between aliphatic and aromatic amines. There are also very few similarities also. And if you see, these are aliphatic amines are more basic in nature, and aromatic amines are less basic. Aromatic are less basic in nature when compared to aliphatic amines. If we see some similarities, both can be alkylated at the NH2 functional group. Both can be alkylated, and on alkylation they both give secondary and tertiary amines, because NH2 is a primary functional group. So on alkylation, when treated with RX or alkyl halides, they give secondary and tertiary amines. And both can be acylated or they undergo acylation easily to form amides. Substituted amides are obtained, and aniline gives anylides. Aniline gives anylides, that is they both can be easily acylated. Next, both gives carbylamine test. Both alkyl amines and aryl amines both give carbylamine tests. In this way, we found some of the differences and also some similarities between the aliphatic and aromatic amines. Next, and the next topic included under this heading, that is under nitrogen containing compounds, are cyanides and isocyanates. Let us see what are they. The compounds in which an alkyl group is attached to the carbon of a CN group, cyanide group, are called as alkyl cyanides. That is the general formula is RCN. R is bonded to carbon, which is bonded to nitrogen. RCN is called as alkyl cyanide. It is also called as a nitrile, that is alkyl nitrile. And here we have some examples. This is only one carbon containing one carbon atom is present here, therefore it is a methyl cyanide or acetonitrile. See, the acetonitrile, or its IUPAC name is ethane nitrile. This is ethyl cyanide or propane nitrile. This is propyl cyanide or butane nitrile. Because see, these cyanides on hydrolysis they give acids. So the acid that is obtained from, or the acid which is obtained by the hydrolysis, in the name of that acid, last letter is removed and O nitrile group is introduced. That is, suppose if this methyl cyanide is present, this methyl cyanide on hydrolysis gives acetic acid. Therefore, acetic acid, so in the name of acetic acid, acetic ik sound is removed and O sound is introduced. So acetic IC is removed, O is introduced, acetonitrile. It is called as acetonitrile. This is propionitrile. In this way they are named. And this is isopropyl group, therefore it is called as isopropyl cyanide, or 1, 2, 3. So 2-methyl propane nitrile. It's also called as 2-methyl propane nitrile. And if you see what are isocyanides, the compounds in which an alkyl group is attached to the nitrogen of CN group. See, if alkyl group is bonded to the carbon, then they are called as cyanides. If the alkyl group is bonded to the nitrogen, they are called as isocyanides. Cyanides are also called as nitriles. Isocyanides are isonitriles. And the IUPAC name is alkyl isonitrile. Here we have some examples. This is a methyl isocyanide or methyl isonitrile. And this is a ethyl isocyanide or ethyl isonitrile. This is a propyl isocyanide or propyl isonitrile. Structures. The cyanide group is a C triple bond N. In organic cyanide, cyanide possesses one sigma bond and 2 pi bonds. See, in the triple bond we know that one is sigma bond and the other two are pi bonds, and therefore a triple bond is present between the carbon and nitrogen atom, as we see in alkynes. In alkynes, triple bond is present between 2 carbon atoms. Therefore, here also nitrogen atom is sp hybridized as in alkynes. And the carbon-carbon nitrogen triple bond angle is 180 degrees and bond length of the carbon nitrogen triple bond is 1.16 angstroms, which is shorter than carbon nitrogen double bond in amines and carbon nitrogen single bond in amines. Next, structure of isocyanide. See, in this alkyl group is bonded to the nitrogen atom of CN group, okay, and a triple bond is present between carbon and nitrogen atoms. In this, an alkyl or aryl group is directly bonded to the nitrogen. These can be described by two resonance structures, one with a triple bond between the carbon and nitrogen, and the other with the another one with the carbon and nitrogen double bond, that is like this, R N C. These isocyanates can be represented in both the ways, one with the triple bond between nitrogen and carbon and one with the carbon nitrogen double bond. Next, cyanides preparations. Cyanides can be prepared from alkyl halides. Alkyl halides, when they are treated with or when they undergo reaction with the potassium cyanide at 100 degrees Celsius, alkyl cyanides are obtained. Suppose if you take ethyl bromide, this on reaction with the potassium cyanide at 100 degrees Celsius, ethyl cyanide is obtained. From amides, amides on dehydration gives cyanides, and dehydration is carried out in the presence of phosphorus pentoxide or a sulfuryl chloride or phosphorus or POCl3, phosphorus trichloride. See, on dehydration, amides loses one water molecule and gives cyanides. So, RCONH2 is converted to RCl. Here we have taken one example of benzamide. This on treating with or on heating with phosphorus pentoxide loses one water molecule and gives phenyl cyanide. And cyanides can also be prepared from aldoxymes. Okay. Aldoxymes are the compounds which are obtained from aldehydes by treating them with the hydroxylamine. See, this is aldehyde RCHO, this is hydroxylamine NH2OH. So, when carbonyl compounds are treated with the hydroxylamine, they give aldoxymes, and these aldoxymes again on heating with phosphorus pentoxide or sulfuryl chloride, they again undergoes dehydration and gives cyanides. In this way, cyanides are prepared from alkyl halides, from amides and also from aldoxymes. Next, physical properties of cyanides. Cyanides, alkyl cyanides are unstable neutral substances with a pleasant smell. Lower members are colorless liquids at room temperature and higher members are crystalline solids. These are less poisonous than hydrogen cyanide. Lower members are soluble in water as they form hydrogen bonding with water. Higher members are slightly soluble in water, but overall all the cyanides are soluble in organic solvents. Not only higher but also lower members also soluble in organic solvents. Next, chemical properties of cyanides. Hydrolysis. See, remember always cyanides on hydrolysis gives acids. See, they undergo hydrolysis both with the acids and also with the bases, in the presence of acids and bases also. Partial hydrolysis using alkaline H2O2, amides are obtained. Okay, partial hydrolysis gives amides, but this again on hydrolysis gives acids. That is, cyanides on partial hydrolysis gives amides and on complete hydrolysis gives acids. So, always remember cyanides, whatever or wherever they are present on the group or any mother chain or whatever it may be, cyanide group is converted to COOH group on hydrolysis. Next, reduction. On reduction, cyanides gives amines, and the reduction is carried out either with the lithium aluminum hydride or sodium and alcohol or hydrogen in the presence of platinum or nickel. Whatever the reagent used, primary amines are obtained on reduction of cyanides. And reduction using lithium aluminum hydride is called as Mendeus reduction. And if tin chloride and HCl is used, it is called as a Stephen reduction. But here aldehydes are obtained. Okay. So, cyanides on reduction using lithium aluminum hydride or sodium alcohol or H2 in the presence of platinum or nickel, they give primary amines. And by using lithium aluminum hydride, the reaction is called as Mendeus reaction. And cyanides can also undergo reduction by using tin chloride and HCl, but here the product obtained is aldehyde. and this process is called, or this method is called as a Stephens reduction. Next, addition of Grignard reagent. Cyanides on reaction with the Grignard reagent, they add on the Grignard reagent molecule. See here, RCN, this is our cyanide, okay, and here this R group is attached to this carbon atom. As the nitrogen is electronegative, it attracts electron pair towards itself, and therefore this R group is attacked on the carbon atom of the cyanide, and this addition product is obtained. This on hydrolysis gives ketone. This addition product or imine salt and hydrolysis is giving ketone. And also, if these ketones are further treated with the Grignard reagent, they give rise to tertiary alcohols. Again, these further reaction with Grignard reagent, they give tertiary alcohols. That is, R group is bonded to this carbon atom, and MgX goes and attacks on this oxygen atom. See here, R C double bond OH, this is ketone obtained by the reaction of Grignard reagent on alkyl cyanide. If this is treated with RMgX again, okay, this R group is bonded to this carbon atom. So R, C, R group from Grignard reagent, OMgX. So this on hydrolysis again gives tertiary alcohol. In this way, cyanide reacts with Grignard reagent and gives ketones. Next, isocyanates preparation. From isocyanates also, they can be prepared from alkyl halides as our cyanides also, but their cyanides they are obtained by treating alkyl halides with potassium cyanide, and here alkyl cyanides are obtained by treating alkyl halides with the silver cyanide. Then here one must have or one must get a doubt here that why treating with the potassium cyanide is giving rise to alkyl cyanide. Why treating with the silver cyanide is why this is not giving alkyl cyanide, but it is giving alkyl isocyanide. See here, because the potassium cyanide is ionic compound and the silver cyanide is covalent compound. So potassium cyanide is ionic compound and exists as ions K plus and Cn minus. Therefore, the alkyl group in the alkyl group R plus is directly bonded to the cyanide group, but here this is the silver cyanide is covalent compound and it does not exist as Ag plus and Cn, and therefore the alkyl group is bonded to the nitrogen atom of AgCN when it is reacted with the silver cyanide, and therefore in the product we get isocyanide. And the next preparation is from amines. So from primary amines. So primary amines on heating with the chloroform and in the presence of any alcoholic KOH, it is giving isocyanide. So primary amines on reaction with the chloroform in the presence of alcoholic KOH or NaOH, they give isocyanates as the products, and isocyanates are very highly foul smelling substances, and this reaction is called as not this reaction, this reaction, this is a reaction of aniline with the chloroform and KOH, the same reaction, but with aryl amine is called as carbyl amine reaction or isocyanide test, which is used for the identification of aromatic primary amines. In this reaction, aniline is giving rise to phenyl isocyanide as the product. In this way, isocyanates are prepared from alkyl halides and also from amines. Physical properties of isocyanates. Alkyl isocyanates are colorless liquids, and these are highly unpleasant smelling liquids. Cyanates are pleasant smelling, but isocyanates are highly unpleasant smelling. These are insoluble in water because of the absence of hydrogen bonds, but these are soluble in organic solvents, and these have lower boiling points, and isocyanates are highly poisonous than cyanides. See, cyanides are less poisonous when compared to the alkyl cyanides are less poisonous when compared to hydrogen cyanides, but isocyanates are highly poisonous than cyanides. Next, chemical properties of isocyanates. Hydrolysis. On hydrolysis with the dilute acids, they give primary amine and formic acid. See, C2H5NC, this is a ethyl isocyanate. On hydrolysis is giving ethyl amine, primary amine, because nitrogen atom is bonded to only one alkyl group here, therefore it is a primary amine. And isocyanates on hydrolysis gives primary amine and formic acid. And see, these isocyanates they are not hydrolyzed by alkalis, because negative charge on the carbon atom, that is Rn plus C minus, this is our isocyanate. So, negative charge on the carbon atom in isocyanates attracts H plus but not OH minus. OH minus of alkalis is not attracted, therefore this is not hydrolyzed by alkalis. Only isocyanates are hydrolyzed by only acids only and gives rise to primary amines and formic acid. Next, reduction. On reduction, isocyanates gives secondary amines. See, CH3NC, methyl isocyanate on reduction gives dimethyl amine. So, CH3NC on reduction, it takes up 2 hydrogen atoms and it takes up 3 hydrogen atoms, and hence we get a dimethyl amine, that is nitrogen is bonded to 2 alkyl groups, therefore it is a secondary amine. Next, oxidation. Isocyanates are oxidized to isocyanates by heating with mercuric oxide. So, isocyanates on heating with mercuric oxide, they undergo oxidation and gives rise to isocyanates, and these isocyanates are highly poisonous gases. Isocyanates are highly poisonous gases, and here the product obtained here is a methyl isocyanate, which is a highly poisonous gas. And if you remember, this is a gas, this is the gas which is released or which is leaked in Bhopal gas tragedy. In Bhopal gas tragedy which occurred during the 1980s, the gas released there in that instance is methyl isocyanate, which is a highly poisonous gas. Next, comparison of cyanides and isocyanates. If let us see some comparisons between cyanides and isocyanates. First one is solubility. As we have seen that cyanides are soluble in water and isocyanates are sparingly soluble in water because of the absence of hydrogen bondings. Next, odor. Cyanides are pleasant smelling, and we have seen that isocyanates are highly unpleasant smelling, foul smelling substances. Hydrolysis. Cyanates they give acids on hydrolysis, and the cyanates also undergo they give carboxylic acids on hydrolysis. They undergo hydrolysis with both mineral acids and alkalis. But isocyanates they undergo hydrolysis only with the dilute acids but not with alkalis, and on hydrolysis they give primary amines and formic acid. Next point, reduction. Cyanates on reduction gives primary amines, and isocyanates on reduction gives secondary amines. These are some points or some comparisons between cyanides and isocyanates. With this, the topic nitrogen containing compounds are completed. So, in this topic I have discussed this topic under the headings amines part 1, part 2, part 3 and now part 4. Under the heading nitrogen containing compounds, we have seen amines and diazonium salts, cyanides and isocyanates. See, in the first part I have discussed about the introduction to amines, some of the biological uses and nomenclature of amines, classification of amines into primary, secondary, tertiary and tertiary amines and quaternary salts, preparation of amines, next physical properties of amines in the first part. And in the second part I have discussed about the basic strength of amines, which is a very important topic in this lesson. Basicity of amines and comparison between all the types of amines from ammonia, alkyl amines, aryl amines and aryl alkyl amines. The comparison is also very important. Next we have seen the use of amines as phase transfer catalyst, how they are used as phase transfer catalysts, especially quaternary salts are used as phase transfer catalysts. And next we have seen some chemical properties of alkyl amines. Next we have seen the separation of amines, how the three amines, primary, secondary and tertiary amines, are separated by using Hinsberg method. This is also very important question. And next we have seen some electrophilic substitution reactions of aromatic amines we have seen. Next diazotization. What is diazotization? That is preparation of benzene diazonium chloride, and what are the uses or applications or synthetic importance of benzene diazonium chloride we have seen. Okay, I think all these we have seen in the third part. And now in this fourth part we have seen the comparisons between primary, secondary and tertiary amines, and the comparisons between alkyl amines and aryl amines. Some similarities we have seen, and lastly we have seen, or we have discussed about the cyanides and isocyanates also. So overall, on the whole, this is a very lengthy chapter, very lengthy lesson, but most of the important questions are also included in this lesson, which are very important for the final year BSc students for final examinations. With this I conclude today's session, and the whole topic nitrogen containing compounds is completed with the part 4. Okay, thank you.